Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I showed it on my blog today and it's been very well received, and I've been requested to make a video to show how I made it. I'm going to stick to the same design, I'm just going to change the colour scheme, but before I make a start on showing you the cardstock we're going to be needing, I would just like to say thank you very much to Barbara Hill, who gave me this swap when we were at the Stampin' Up on Stage convention in Telford on the 7th of April. This is a card that inspired me to make mine, so thank you very much, Barbara. So the card pieces that you're going to be needing. My colour is rose red. This one is sweet sugar plum, which is one of the current in colours that will be retiring on the 31st of May. I'm going to be, as I say, going to be using rose red, which is another colour that is going to be retiring. We're having a really big colour refresh, revamp on the 1st of June. The new colours will come in, and I am sorry to see this go because I like this. Anyway, the card pieces you're going to need. The card base is Whisper White, and that measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of rose red, one for the inside, and these should measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. 2 pieces of Whisper White, again one for the inside, that measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. A piece of rose foil, which measures 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches, or 6 by 6 centimetres, and a piece of rose red cardstock, which measures 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is about 7 by 7 centimetres. And you will also need a piece of Whisper White for the sentiment, the heart, the little flowers, and the little hearts on the inside. I haven't actually measured what the size is you need. Right, so first of all, stamping, I'm going to be doing this piece, and because there are so many little flowers and the little hearts, I've done them all beforehand, but I'm going to do one of everything to show you. I haven't done the sentiment nor the big heart. So I am using rose red ink. The stamp set I'm using is called Ribbon of Courage, which I'm pleased to say is being carried forward to the new catalogue. And I'm going to be using the big heart and the little heart, the little flower, and the no, I decided to change it, didn't I? That's the one that I've used on here, the Live Every Moment, Laugh Every Day, Love with All Your Heart. But this one I'm going to be using Sending Love and Hugs to You. This also comes with a set of dies, which if you buy it before the 31st of May, you can buy it as a bundle and therefore save 10%. But these are the dies, so this will die cut these two. You've got that for the heart, the small heart, the big heart. These are 2 extras, and so is this one. Let me just show you what it does on the back here. Okay, so that's the big one, the 2 hearts, and the small ribbon, the flower. I kept those because I thought they looked rather like horseshoes, if ever I needed those, although like that they look like eyes, and the leaf. I'm not quite sure why those are there, but they do come in useful from time to time. Unfortunately not this card. So to start with, I'm going to do my stamping. So for my sentiment, just doing that inside so that I've got room to die cut that. And then the heart, which is also going to be die cut. And then the, I suppose this is a little flower, isn't it? I'm going to call that little flower. You will need however many. On mine I'm using 4 of these so that I've got them on the front page round the edge. But as I say, I've already done all of these, so I'm only going to do 1 of each. And then the hearts, I need 5 of these because I've got 1 there and 1 in each corner there. I am doing something very slightly different. I'm adding something. I'll show you that when I get there. Okay, so that's a little heart. That's all the stamping that I'm going to be doing. Just move my stamps out of the way. You've probably heard me say before that if I get in a mess with ink, it's normally red. Right, all of these are die cut except for this little flower here, which is punched out with a 1/2 inch circle punch. Okay, so that's that one. Put that up there. I'll bring up my Sizzix because I've got to die cut those and those, and these here, it's actually a die that I've used and I've punched all the holes out, which is basically why I'm making a video of this, to show you how I achieved that. There are 2 ways of doing it, the perfectionist way and the Jambi way. I will demonstrate the Jambi way but just explain how to do it the perfection way. Now first of all, what you need to do, I forgot, before you use this, you need to measure, and I did bring my small ruler over because I've just been using it. What have I done with it? Oh, please don't make me use my big ruler. It makes such a clang if I drop it. Oh, trust me. Right, okay, I'm going to have to use my big ruler because I can't see my small one here. Just fingers crossed I don't drop it. Right. So we need to measure in 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. So I'm going to do this one first. And when you're doing this, it's a good idea to have a nice sharp point on your pencil. So that's 1/8. I'm going to come up here for 1/8. One-eighth on this side, and you would need to do this both ways, even if you wanted to do the perfectionist way. I have to say I did try and do perfectionist, but I thought it looked worse than doing it my way. That's not to say that you would make it look worse though. Right, so this is all 4 sides. I'm doing 1/8. I'll show you why I'm doing 1/8 of an inch in. Well, that's okay, didn't make a loud clang there. On this card, I did this piece first, and I just lined up my die so it was up against the edge, but I felt that that was too close to the edge. And the reason I'm showing you both is so that you can decide whether you want to do the 1/8 of an inch like me, or just go straight up to the edge. And this is the one that's gone 1/8 of an inch in. I just felt that that looked better. Okay, so show you again. that's straight up to the edge, and that's 1/8 of an inch in. It doesn't make any difference to anything, apart from I just think it looks better. Right, now the die that I'm using for this is from the Swirly Snowflakes, and this was in our Christmas catalogue. It's not available at the moment, but it will be in the new catalogue when that comes out on the 1st of June. Alright, this is a die that I'm using, and what I'm going to do, after I've moved the top piece off of here, I am going to lay this face down, and I'm going to line the edge up on the 1/8 inch marks. Now you might find that this will tilt. Now again, you would still do this bit for the perfectionist way. Alright, so I've got that lined up, so that should be straight. Okay, so just run that through. Whoops, sorry about that. And then I use my die brush for this. And just run that along. It comes out perfectly, but this normally gets some left behind. There's 2 there, and 2 there. Okay, now if you want to do perfection, what you would need to do is to put your die across here. Now please remember, this is the perfections way of doing it. What you would need to do is to line your die up against these 2 lines, and then make sure that that lines up with the hole that's underneath, and then you can crank it through. But as I say, this is the Jambi way. So what I do is line it up on these 2, and I just make sure that the hole isn't right on the edge of my paper. In fact, I must have cut my piece of paper a tad short, I think, because it looks as if that is going to have what I describe as a broken hole. Oh, silly so-and-so, look at that. Lining it up, but still sticking that edge off. Right, still in picture, yep. Let's try that again. Okay, let's try it this way then. Bring it down towards me. Now make sure that's not going off the edge. Oh, I might just about get away with that. Okay, so let's put that one through. Again, take this off. There we go. You see, with mine there, can you see how I've like got a definitely misshapen hole? I was trying to think how I could describe that. But if you're a perfectionist and you'd lined it up, that should have gone beautifully. But as we're going to be covering it up, it doesn't really matter. So again, perfectionist, you'd line up this to your to the hole down there, and make sure that these two are lined up. If you have to move it away to line up the hole, just make sure that you're doing the same amount on both ends. But that's not the Jambi way. Jambi, oh, I've got some, make sure I get rid of these bits first. That's better. Okay, so again, all I do is I make sure that I'm lined up here and here, and make sure that I've got a complete hole and a complete hole there. And that looks spot on. And then for the perfectionists to do the last one going across, you should find that by putting the bar across on your last one, it should marry up on both sides beautifully. Okay, so that's another one where I've got like a double hole on that side. Now, let's bring it down this way to do this one. Let's just get rid of all this debris. Let's see if we've got any holes left here. Where's my paper piercer? It's just one. I seem to have a lot more left in the holes when I do this sideways like this one. Right, so again, I'm lining up with the two lines. When I'm happy with that, I'm just making sure that I've not got a partial hole going off the edge. I think that looks good. Now all I need to do is separate this because I can tidy that up later. As long as I don't have any of the holes still in there. There we go, I've got a broken hole at the end there. Shame, but never mind, I'm not going to, and that one, at least I've got broken holes on both. Oh look, 3 sides. But never mind, I'm not going to lose any sleep about that. Right, so the other die cutting I need to do is for those 2 pieces. I feel that oh no, that's the other piece, isn't it? That one I'm using the layering, no, the stitched shape framelits, the square one, and this one is number 3. Larger the die, the larger the number. I always start counting with the smallest one. Well, you can't do that holding that as well. Let's bring this down first. Oh! Really didn't like that, did it? Okay. This one is the layering squares, the scalloped die, and this is number 8. So that goes on there. If your die moves like that, just make your paper follow it. Paper's a lot more well behaved than the dies are. Right, so now we have this piece, so I'm going to do my sentiment. And then the large heart. Here. And I want the small heart. And while I'm doing this bit, I will also do one of these as well. Okay, so that's the large heart. And the small heart. And this is the extra bit that I'm going to be doing this time. Okay, so I've just got a scrap of rose red, and I've got the little ribbon, the small one. That's the one that I'm going to be using, that's extra. There we go, make sure nothing's moved. Okay. Right, I think that's all okay. So, first of all, we have this stitched shape frame, and that goes on to that one. And then this is the scallop. Okay, and that bit's rubbish, and that goes on to that one. And that's the little heart that goes there. That's the little heart there, the big heart. Let's pop those on there. And then the sentiment. Could have done with being a bit more over to the side, but never mind, towards the left hand side. And that goes on to that one there. Right, okay, so we don't need this. Don't need this. Right, okay. Now, with this, you need to do a second one, so that you can pop one on the inside. Okay, I did that ahead of time because it's quite time consuming when you're thinking about a video. Right, so I'm going to put these together, and what I should have done before time was I should have put my tape on these. As you probably know that I am now using tear and tape for adhering my layers together. Where's my scissors? Now these things cannot all be disappearing because I've been using them. Oh, of course I've tidied up again, haven't I? You can tear this, you don't need scissors, but I have a bad habit of tearing my cardstock with it when I do it. Right, now with the other piece, you have a choice. You can, this doesn't really fit in. Does it, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm lucky in as much as I got another tape that's slightly narrower, and that does fit in. So if you've got that, you can use it. Otherwise your choices are to use snail, fast fuse, or of course Tombow. I'm on a little bit of a wing and a prayer here because I've had this one for so long. I really don't know how good the adhesion on it is. It feels sticky. But this is one of the things that if you use turn tape, it's quite handy to have different sizes with you. Right, so I think this is only really a question of putting this together. Let's do this and this first. Right, that's, which side's got 2 holes? This one down here. So the side with 2 holes, I'm putting it at the bottom. But whichever, I need to use my eraser as well to get those pencil marks off. Oh, come on. And then just take those off. Be very careful not to damage your the holes there. The trouble is with the really pointed pencils, they make deeper marks. So it's a bit of a catch-22 position, that one. Okay, so let's pop this on top. Those holes don't look, broken holes don't look so bad now, but I still think I'll put that down the bottom. So I'm going to undo that. That's the bottom. I'm ultra cautious about this now because on one of these I decided to adhere it the other way round, turned the top layer around but forgot to turn the actual card around, so it finished up opening up back to front. So it's made me somewhat ultra cautious now. That's not quite right. Can I get you off? I told you I was worried about how whether this was had a decent adhesion to it or not, because oh no, this one is the Stampin' Up one. Ooh. Let's bring that out. Let's just say I hadn't pressed it down very hard, shall we? much better. In fact, I've got a little bit of cardstock there where I tore it off. I think that'll stay underneath now. If it doesn't, I'll find a way of sorting it out. Right, there we go. Now, these three are going to go on here, all three together, and then on here with dimensionals. So I'll just get some of these out. And I'll pop these together with Tombow. Okay, so first of all, the actual sentiment. Let's come back into screen. Tweezers. I love this rose foil. It is such a subtle, subtle pink. Yep, that looks good. Now this goes on to the rose red. Oops. And then with dimensionals. And when I put this on, I just made sure that the gap that I've got on either side and the underneath is about the same. And what I mean by that is when I put this down, the gap here is about the same there and the same there. So I'm going to tilt this up so that I move the chance of getting it straight. I think that looks okay. And then I'm going to have dimensionals on this. Now, one other thing I'm going to do differently is these circles I've put up on dimensionals, and this time I'm going to just glue them down just to see what it looks like. Again, it will give you the choice of which way you think looks better. So this, I need the ribbon first. A ribbon I'm using is something that we tied a long time ago. It was one of our in colours called Raspberry Ripple, but it goes pretty well with this, so I thought that would be good. I'd use that. So what I did was I used glue dots, and let me see, there, down to about there. No, you do it like that, don't you? That's right. And then you lay it down. No, you don't. You lay it down that way. Okay, so that's putting those two facing up. If you've got a different pattern on the other side, it's a lot easier to see. So what I did was I put glue dots to hold the ribbon together first. So I'll have one there. I'm just trying to get this about the same size as that one. Let's open it up a bit and make it a little bit bigger. Obviously it's looking a bit different because it's different thickness. Okay, now let's take another one. Oh, two, even. Let's put one on there. Oh, what a mess. Let's try putting that one down there, that one there, and that one there. Right, okay, that's 3. So how did I decide which position I was going to put this in? It's about there, coming to about nearly centre. So as I've got glue dots under there, that'll hold that. If I take the backings off the dimensionals, I could pop that over the ribbon and it will make sure that it does all stay in place. And I'm just making sure the point of my ribbon comes down to the centre, the point of my heart rather, coming down to the centre of the ribbons. There we go, so that'll hold that. And then I want to trim my ribbon so that it's just about on here. That one, and then do on this side so that they're about the same length. There we go. Yep, that's good, I'm happy with that. Now we've got one heart on here. Now this one I am putting on a dimensional. This one takes just one little one. No, I don't want it on the same side. And then here I said my circles I would do with Tombow. I'm not going to use dimensionals. These are all the ones I did earlier. So I want 4 of these. This is why I don't think it's important to be a perfectionist on this, because those holes are going to be covered anyway with these. And when I do this, I just try and get the same amount of holes either side. Okay, that one's got one top, one at the side. But that doesn't look even, does it? Oh, don't worry about it, it's because you can't see a straight line rather. Right, okay, so that's the front apart from the rhinestones. And in the centre, what I did here was I just put the hearts. But what I want to do is, whoops, put the ribbon, I don't need to go up to cover up any damaged holes, and then to put that on there like that. I think that's going to look nice. So let's have a go. Where's my silicone mat? Can you still see that? As long as I stay low enough, yes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I did another. Oh no, that's the one I've done for to show you. I was suddenly thinking maybe I'd been planning to put one underneath the small heart on the front. I think as long as there's the Tombow on the cross part here, I think that will be enough to keep it nicely secure. especially given that it's on the inside of the card. Okay. Right, what I'm looking at now is to try and get the same amount of holes that side as that side, and to have these so it's got the same gap either side. I've got some glue on there that I'm going to have to take off later. Now these ones, I don't want them upside down. So they are going to come down to the edge, aren't they? I think I have to, don't I? It's going to look silly if I do them upside down. You think so? Let me just have a look. That looks silly on that upside down. Yes, I think so. Right, okay. We are going to keep it up the right way. There we go. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But at least it does give you options without wasting, hopefully. There we go. I quite like it actually. Be interested to know what you think. I think that looks alright. Let me know what you think on that one. Right, so all I need to do now, and I don't think that would have been right there either. That would have been crowded. Right, so all I need to do now are my rhinestones, and then that is it done. So what I did was I used smaller ones for the outside. In fact, the only one that I used a big one for was the heart, the big heart. Okay, where else did I put them? I put one on here. And one on here. Oops. One on here. And then the bigger one there. So there we go. That's today's project. As always, I hope you like it, and I really hope you give it a try. I think it's a good card. I'm pleased with it. Not sure the ribbon actually goes with it, but that's close enough, I think. So many thanks for joining me today. Let's show you that one and that one. If you have any comments or any questions, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I do love to hear your opinions. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, except the ribbons, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. I'll also put in the box below the measurements and the products that I've used. If you've enjoyed watching my video and you would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally on Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And very finally, I am very lucky because a lot of my YouTube subscribers share their projects with me. They send me photographs of what it is they've made. So and I've always thought to myself, it's a shame that other people don't get to see them. So I set up a Facebook group called Happy Crafting for everybody to share their projects. It doesn't have to be something that's copying what I've done. It could be something totally different. And also it doesn't have to be done using Stampin' Up products. It's just really and truly to share projects that we've made. So I would love to have you join me. I will put a link to the Facebook group in the box below. Maybe you just take a wander over and decide that you'd like to join. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.